Yeah, it doesn't leave a particularly clean cut. But I think most of it can be attributed to wobble in the Tablesaw arbor. It's a little hard to see, but that's about 0.2 of a millimetre run out. Like most people's workshops, I have pretty limited space, and I have to make do with the space I've got. The reason for building a Tablesaw of this style is so I can fit into an existing workbench, which you've probably seen before if you've seen the other videos. But it means I can make the most of the space and track the blade below the surface and use the surface as a regular workbench. Holding a metal lathe, I probably could have made quite a nice Tablesaw, you know, with bearings and all that sort of stuff. But the thing that held me back from doing that was that I just couldn't find a motor cheap enough and powerful enough, you know. I got a few. The saw I'm using is a rubbish one I got from B&Q years ago, but for the amount of effort it took to build this saw, perhaps it would have been better to go for a higher quality saw blade, because this one has a fair few problems. Yeah, one of the big differences between mine and Matthias' saw, I figure, is probably the fact that I've mounted the saw to the frame with screws to this plate. I also drilled these mounting holes through so I could mount the blade guard back on from the front. Saves a bit of effort. Here's a depth function, which is a bit sticky, but it works. Yeah, the tilt setting just the same as Matthias, you know. It does work quite well, but I can't tilt far enough because the extra bar gets in the way. Because of space constraints, I really made this beam here quite thin. I think that's 40mm thin, and I tried to stiffen up by gluing a beam on, but firstly I didn't cut the beam very flat, so I think I've managed to bow the whole assembly by gluing onto that. Plus the beam isn't quite substantial enough. I think I'll probably maybe try and get a bit of hardwood or something. I've got a box of hardwood out the back. The pivot pin's also 16mm big. That's what he's stuck in, and it's left long for now to help with aligning the saw. I figure I could use the dial indicator on the extended pivot to then, you know, try and get a reading on the front there. Whole thing isn't aligned at all. It's I haven't even really checked it, but the big problem at the minute is the fact that this arbor wobbles like I showed. But yeah, until I can fix the wobble, I don't feel there's really much point in getting it all lined up nice. But as I said, I do own a metal lathe, so that gives me plenty of opportunities to, you know, have a go at repairing it. Well, this is all the tools I used. Got a cheap router that's, I don't think the base is actually square to the spindle, so that's not very good. I got a cheap drill that goes far too fast. I got this thing, which I try not to use, I can avoid it because I hate it. And I've got a circular saw I got from Aldi. And honestly, it's quite a good circular saw, you know, it was cheap, 30 quid. In fact, all these tools were cheap, you know. Also a bandsaw there, a real cheap bandsaw, you know. But, you know, it works. But all the cuts I made with the bandsaw could also be made with the jigsaw, even a rubbish jigsaw like that. But yeah, as you can see, there's still a fair bit to do to get it working properly, but as it is, I'm quite pleased.